Hello everyone, this is Joanna. Thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, thank you so much. I hope what you find what you like here. And let me just start off by saying these are late, so thank you for waiting. I don't know about you, but this whole freaking retrograde has played a number on me in a way that just the whole month of March was like blah. That's why these are late. Energetically, I didn't feel it. Some of it I had to start all over again. So if you have been feeling things coming from the past, and if you have been feeling kind of pulled all over the place, I have been feeling it too. And if you guys want to comment on what that might be, as far as energetically speaking, by all means, please do that, because I would be interested to know. But what I will say, the month of April, I feel feels very fresh to me. For many of you, it's about bursting out of your bubbles. And I've said this several times to several signs. So month of March has been, month of April seems much more complete. Now, it doesn't mean that every one of you will feel that, but the energy certainly makes me feel that we are all moving to brighter and better beginnings, is what I want to say. So that's what I want to say about the energies. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. For those of you who have sessions with me, thank you so much. And for those of you who want a session with me, that information is down below. Listen to your other signs, your moon sign and your sun sign and your rising sign, because they will offer more information often, and some of them may be even more accurate for you than your sun sign. And I think that's all I have. I don't like long intros. Oh yes, one more thing, sorry. I have a new deck of cards, Spirit Animal. Kelly Jean, I think, uses them. I love her. And I just wanted to order these. I weathered them for quite some time, so I use them in most of the readings here. See if you like them. And I got them on Amazon. Anyway, I think that's all I have. Thank you so much, and let's get started. Hello, beautiful Pisces. This is going to be a reading for the month of April for you. I was meditating on you beforehand. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. And one of the things that came up right away about you was the number 5. And it was shown to me several times later, which kind of confirmed what I was feeling the first time was correct, if you will. So 5 represents a lot of changes. This can indicate some of these changes will transpire around the month of May, but I feel for many of you, these changes are in the middle of happening or brewing already in the background. I also kept seeing the number 4, which is April, but it was to do with foundations and with grounding. And I felt like the month of April will be focused a lot for some of you on solidifying either existing framework or existing foundations, or starting brand new foundations. And what do I mean by this? Foundations are the things that we build our life upon. So family, relationships, work, what else? Many other things. Your belief system, absolutely, probably the biggest one. So there's going to be some fundamental changes occurring over the next few months for some of you. That will require you to start fresh for some, and for some to reassess. And I also keep hearing the word reintegrate. It's almost like he's asking me to talk about healing in general. Many of you have been doing some self-healing, and you are coming a long way. Before you can see the manifestation of your inner changes because of the work you have been doing, you first have to clean up the old stuff. So it sounds to me like for those of you who have been working on yourself diligently, you are now being moved in a direction of profound change. But as you move towards this direction of whatever it is that you desire more, you will, on this journey, come up against circumstances that will prevent you seemingly from going forward, but they're not to prevent you. They're here to help you recognize what it is that you need to deal with, or what it is that has been blocking you in the first place. So kind of a convoluted message, but I'm hoping this is going to make sense to you. So foundations, grounding, very, very important. I feel like many of you feel like you're standing still and things are not moving. And there's a reason for it. And there's a reason in the cards as well. And then I hear the proverbial patience, 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 which we all don't want to hear anymore. I also saw the number 29. It was right glaring in my face. So for some of you, this is going to connect with the number 29. I don't know if I have no idea what it means. So sometimes I get numbers, as you guys know, for those of you who watch. I'll get some information and it will make no sense to me, but it'll make sense to you. So 29 came up right away. The overall number that is energetically around you is the number 23, which comes to 5 once again. So it was shown to me at the beginning, and the cards, the overall number of the cards equals to the number 5. It is a combination of 2 and 3. So 2 is about choices and decisions for the purpose of 3, which is expansion. So if many of you have been feeling stuck, is because there is some choices and decisions you need to make first in order to move forward to your desired destination. And that's how I want to leave it. And some of you are still hooked on whatever it is that is not letting you go, or you are not letting it go. And it's something from your past. Anything else here? No. So let's go with the cards. When I ask about the theme of April for Pisces, you have the Fool. So it is in reverse, and I'll talk about what that means for me. I actually just hear the words "not yet." So what this represents here is you are very much moving forward to a fresh new start, many of you. And it doesn't mean anything drastic. It could just mean that you change the way you dress. It could be anything. But point is, and that was just a funny example, but point is, many of you are definitely moving forward to something new. There's no way around it. Some of you might be in the process of getting it started. Some of you just have this feeling that it's going to happen. And I almost want to say it's inevitable. The month of May comes up, so perhaps for some of you, this will make sense more in April than it does in May. But essentially, the theme here is that you are starting brand new. The reason why this is in reverse is because there's a couple of things. The beginning isn't there yet or here yet. In other words, you cannot see it physically with your eyes. You can perhaps feel it. There will be a resistance for some of you, and that's only natural. And for most those of you who there is a new beginning, there is a certain risk associated with it, because anything that is new anything that is new requires some sort of risk taking. So that's why I feel it's being shown to me in reverse. Not that it's not going to happen, but that there may be some delay, but definitely a risk taking, as in needing to take a chance, or like you need to take a chance. So that's the overall energy. Now, what you're leaving behind, or what you need to leave behind, first and foremost, you have so many people here, it's not even funny. So many of you will be dealing with an individual. Some of you will be dealing with an aspect of yourself. So what are you leaving behind? Right off the bat, you have another Fool. So I hear the word risk management. For some of you, you have taken a risk and it didn't work out. This risk could be around a person. I have a Knight of Coins, who is someone who is, I want to say, physically very attractive, but because he's shown to me in reverse, I feel he can be withholding physically. I want to say also emotionally. I also want to say controlling. I want to say controlling with money, impulsive. So this might be someone that you have been with, or perhaps it represents a choice you made, or this is an aspect of you. You also have a Knight of Cups, and he's staring right at you. So for many of you, you are dealing with different people, and I feel like some of you have taken chances on certain individuals, or chances on opportunities. And for some of you, these didn't work out, but I want to say this. it's for the better. So for those of you who this relates to, this will mean something to you. For those of you who it doesn't, don't worry about it. It's not for you. I keep hearing risk management. So I feel like some of you got duped. And that's not the meaning of this card. I don't think so. Whether you have been duped. Okay. This is to do with finances. For some of you, I feel like you took a risk in the recent past and I feel like it didn't work out. That is what I want to say. I also want to say for some reason, I know it's not the cards, I feel like you've been lied to. I feel like you've been lied to. And for some of you, there is a feeling of betrayal. Okay, this is not a prediction. This is something that has happened. And I want to say it's in the recent past. But you are leaving that behind, or for some of you who are still in it, you need to leave this behind. I'm just going to show you the people again. I don't like reading people cards because I don't read cards to begin with. They always confuse me. But I feel these could be aspects of you as well. You have Knight of Cups, so you might have been dealing with a Knight of Cups. So it's a younger male. Generally, it doesn't have to be. Could be a female. Someone who, almost want to say ambition. They have ambition. This is what I want to say. So you may have been dealing with someone like this and you have taken a risk with that, or you may have been dealing with a Knight of Coins, which we talked about. So you've got knights. You've got a lot of younger energy around you, but this could also be an aspect of you. But you're leaving that behind. I'm hoping that's going to make sense. Yeah, he's asking me to move on. Okay, so what's going to transpire more likely than not in the month of April? I hear the words decisions, decisions, decisions. You have the Five of Wands, which is it's a struggle. It's a challenge. For some of you, there's going to be an internal challenge with what it is that you want to do. You have the proverbial Eight of Swords. Okay, what this is telling me is that there's an internal struggle going on. And again, this represents a fight because there's an inner fight going on. I feel it has to do around some sort of decisions. For some of you, you're having difficulty walking away. And perhaps those are the people that I mentioned earlier that you need to walk away from. Some of you are having difficulty with walking away. So I'm saying, okay, what is it that is blocking them from getting what they want? And I have the Knight of Wands, and the message that came with it was lack of passion, lack of vision. So I feel for some of you, the reason why the new beginning isn't happening yet is because there is a lack of drive towards something. Now, the lack of drive always comes from within us, obviously. Let me just tune in and ask, okay, for some of you it's to do with money. The lack of drive, I'm tuning in. For some of you, it's decisions. I feel like you are trying to figure out what it is that you should do or where it is that you should go. And this is for some of you around work or career. And for some of you, it'll be relationships or other aspects. And when I feel this, I feel hesitant to move. So there is a feeling of wanting, but there's a hesitation of going forward with it. And I feel that's why it creates a bit of an inner struggle, which, it will cause you, to not feel all that great. They are saying here, this is what I want to say, examine your thinking. I feel like many of you are being challenged right now. And just so you know, I always say this, we're all being challenged right now. So there's, you're not being marginalized here. You're not being somehow, highlighted to be punished. There's a lot of that going on everywhere. Let me just get back to examine your thoughts. For a lot of you, this is going to be around a complete shift in your belief system. And I keep looking at this Fool, which in this deck is called Trust. And you have it in reverse. Some of you have lack of faith that there is a better future there for you. So you may be choosing to remain stuck to these people, whoever they are from you. You may be choosing to remain stuck around work, career, being a certain way, whatever, or culture. Actually, when I was meditating on you, I felt that some of you are leaving your culture. So the way you identify yourself is also changing, and very much so for some of you. So it feels like many of you are dealing with a lack of drive. But I want to say your new beginning is almost, well, it's inevitable. I mean, it's going to happen. But I feel like there's almost a pause. Now, he's reminding me to talk about the number 4 that I saw, which is foundations and structures. In order to perceive the material things in our life, so whether it's a relationship, good health, money, career, whatever it is, we first have to be able to envision it within ourselves. So now we're talking about a belief system. And he's saying the word massive change. So many of you are on the brink of having a massive change in the way you think and the way you believe. And it seems to be a theme lately. I mean, I see it all the time with my clients. So it's important to recognize the belief system within yourself that drives you to the choices that you do. And I feel like I've said this before. Why? Because when you understand where your choices are coming from, you will then understand that you can change it. In other words, I'm going to say it differently. Reflecting upon what makes you tick will help you realize your goals faster, because it'll give you greater awareness in terms of who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, and do you want to continue doing that? So I'm getting off a little bit on a tangent, but let me just get back here. So for some of you, there is a lack of future vision. There's a lack of drive. Now, I said, what is it that they need to focus on? So you have Ace of Swords in reverse. Your focus needs to be on inspiration. In other words, if you have been feeling stuck, if you feel like you don't belong, there's a card about that. If you feel like things are just never enough or good enough somehow for you, well, that's what's coming to you. You need to examine your thoughts. This is huge. So to me, Ace of Swords is an idea. It's intellect. It's sharp knowing what you want. And in reverse, it's telling me that there is a shift that needs to be made to one's thinking, which is based in a belief system. Now, I said, what is it that they need to focus on? Very interesting. You have the card of Orphan in protection. So this is very much indicative of feelings of abandonment. Okay, so I feel for a lot of you, this is going to come up to the surface. Why? So it can be healed. And what this is saying here is, for some of you, it's hard for you to give yourself because you feel you'll be taken advantage of or something is going to happen. So you naturally withhold, and your relationships are built with strings attached. Strings attached basically means if you have something on a string, you can control it. So there's an idea here being presented to be mindful whether you do certain things because you're afraid you're going to be rejected or you're going to be alone. So you do things in such a way to prevent that from happening. But the point, that the bigger picture is, whatever you're getting in return isn't working anyway. So this is about addressing stuff around abandonment, rejection, feeling of not belonging. It feels like this is what's coming up to the surface. The next card you have is to be fair in protection. So this is justice in reverse. And the focus isn't here to focus on injustice. What this is saying here is that although things may not have been just in the past for you, remember that history doesn't have to repeat itself if you don't want to. So this is about, I want to say it's about letting go of the past, which will allow you to let go of the hurt. This is tied for some of you to your early years, and I hope this is making sense. He's saying keep going. If you have been dealt in an unjust way in the past, particularly in your recent past, I want to say within the last 5 years, you might find yourself in a situation where all of a sudden you feel exalted. That's the word that's coming. The other part of the message is that some of you may be drawn towards working with people for just cause. Some of you may be thinking of becoming a lawyer, an advocate, for those who cannot stand up for themselves. But this indicates to me that things have been unjust for you in the past, which, if that's the case, I could see why you would feel isolated and rejected. He's asking me to say the number 8. All of this is towards a greater empowerment. And I always say, the stronger we are within ourselves, the more we can take on the world in a way that allows us to thrive versus just survive. And see what I just did with my body? I just owned my energy. So a lot of you will be experiencing dramatic shifts in your thinking. And if this doesn't make sense to you, then it's not a message for you. That's what I'm meaning to say, at least not at this time. I hope this made sense. This obviously makes no sense to me. If you want to comment down below, I would love to hear that. Always know that these messages almost never make sense at the beginning of the month, but they almost always make sense towards the end of the month, and I get that information from you. So thank you again so much. Have yourself a wonderful month of April. If you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. I would be delighted to speak with you one-on-one. And have yourself a wonderful April, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.